Let me hit that weed, boy.
Sure, bro. My bad.
It's rolling?
Yeah, it's rolling, bro.
Alright. For sure. Smoking weed on camera for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I don't be smoking on camera. That shit ain't cool. I do this shit for real, for real. I ain't doing this shit for no motherfucking fucking watch. But it's happening, though. You know, I ain't never did no shit like this before.
Like what before?
Like, just getting on camera and talking, you know.
Have I done it before?
No, I'm saying I ain't never.
Oh,
did
you
shit
ain't never
before.
done it before, for sure.
Go ahead, roll this shit out.
Sure.
This shit kind of weird, though.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm not thinking about it. I'm going to cut this all out. What's going on, y'all? 28 JMO. This is the 28 podcast. I'm here with my homie Shannon. Known him for a few years now. I think we met in like 2017, was it?
16, 17.
2016, 2017. I actually met him in Clinton, Iowa, closer to where I grew up. So this is before my whole little journey of moving out here to the Chicago area and really pursuing my music stuff. But Shannon is like somebody that was really important to me during that time growing up. I was like 16 or 17 when I met him. I was working at a job and his cousin invited me to the studio. He was the main engineer in there, and we kind of grew together. Like, we used to record in the closet and shit like that, and I watched his engineering get way better and new equipment and hardware, and like we stayed connected this whole time. And he's actually the reason that I live over here. Otherwise, I never would have known about the area. So it's just been a lot. Shannon means a lot to me. We've been back and forth. He's traveled, like he's moved a lot, and I travel a lot. So we kind of just we've always kept in touch, no matter like how much time passes or nothing like that. And so like around the time that we met, I was like 16 or 17. At that point, bro, how long have you been working on music? Were you like deep into it already, kinda, or how did you feel about it, bro?
I say music came sophomore years when I actually started, you know what I'm saying? About 15. But I got it from my big cousin. You know what I'm saying? They had a little back when FL was called Fruity Loops, you know what I'm saying? They had a little old ass computer with like Fruity Loops 3 on that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? They was making their own beats, and I would hear the process, hear them making the beats. Then the beats would be done. Now they writing raps to them. You know what I'm saying? My cousin in the room, he reciting the shit to us. You know what I'm saying? They'll leave. They'll disappear for a couple hours. And when they come back, I could hear the finished product coming out the speakers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I always wondered, how the fuck do you get your voice to come out of speakers? I didn't know the process of making music. And it didn't start until I was about 15. You know what I'm saying? Is when I started writing the raps. I did that shit for like 3 years before I even got in front of a microphone, you know what I'm saying? And I went to my homeboy Mac's house, you know Max,
Yeah.
back when he stayed in Wheaton. And they was in the shed, and they had garage band, so it was the first time I was seeing music creativity like in the studio. It was a little shed, but what I mean is I seen how they could overdub their voice onto a beat and then play it back. That's where it started.
Yeah.
I asked him what the program was called. He said it was called Garage Band. And I asked him, where I get it. And he said the shit was free. It was on all Apple computers. My girlfriend had an Apple computer, and I didn't know GB was on there. But I asked her if she had the shit, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, what? I remember how it was a big deal. Like, why you ain't tell me this? You know what I'm saying? But that's where it started. Garage Band. And I ended up moving out there to Iowa, Section 8. Shout out to Section 8 babies. So I bumped into you at work. But before you came, I learned how to pirate and whatnot. GarageBand wasn't enough. I had to get Logic. I pirated that shit. I always wanted Pro Tools. I ended up cracking the plugins too. And please forgive me for that. You could probably edit that shit out, but that's where it started. So by the time you got to me, I was ready. I was a little ready. You know what I'm saying? And then I was able to grow because of having different voices come to the studio. Everybody need a different process.
Yeah.
For sure.
So like force you to learn, like.
Yep. Cause at first I was just recording myself, just trying to see, what the fuck is a compressor? What is an EQ? What are all the parameters? What's an attack release? What do all this shit do? When I got a little comfortable, CJ came in, and then, everybody who was in Iowa at that time, you know what I'm saying? They all came to fuck with me. I made myself available for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Then you came there. You was the one who showed me you was the most serious though. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might not like that shit, so you probably edit that shit out too. Yeah.
So one thing that I really like about being able to go there, bro, is I was always bumping heads with not bumping heads, but I always ran into other people that made music, bro. And living where I lived, it was just me and my cousin. So like to go somewhere and be in that environment where it's like welcome to come and be creative and like
Right.
Interact with other creatives and motherfuckers featuring on each other's songs and stuff like that. And that's where you kind of gave me that mentality of motherfuckers working together as a unit. And so as we all make music together and support each other's music and hop on each other's songs and stuff, like we all build together.
Right.
And it just spreads out like a wave that,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And for me, that's like kind of like Cloud 28, that's kind of my way of doing that, bro. And I always knew there was going to be something deeper than just the rap music, but like when it does come to my music and to like whoever, just resonates from what they hear from me, the first thing they're probably going to think about is music, like how we were talking about, like we do want to get across spiritual messages,
Right.
but like we want to do it through music, and there's still this whole path that we have to go down and still learn a lot about ourselves and our music. But so that's like kind of a lot I just said, but from Cloud 28, bro, I didn't really have all the like the spiritual aspect of it at that point when I met you, bro. And you're one of the first people that would have a conversation about God, bro. And
Yeah.
so that's something that was really cool to me, bro, because like I guess I grew up Catholic, bro, and
Right.
but motherfuckers didn't really like talk about that outside of church or like school, or like not even with my family didn't talk about God or nothing, bro. And like motherfuckers would still think about it, but like to talk about it with your friends or something, like I guess at that point I thought it would be weird. And to be in a room where motherfuckers like older than me and shit are all talking about God, I'm like, yo, like, I'm not like just weird for like believing in God or like questioning. And like we just had all the kinds of different conversations that started from there because we were talking about like different religions and different aspects on these religions and how they're used and stuff like that, bro. So that kind of really got me into that conversation again, and I started thinking more about God and like questioning my own beliefs and like, wait, you know what I'm saying? Do you remember kind of those conversations that we had, or like just vaguely, or what?
I mean, I always remember talking spirituality and esoteric old knowledge, shit that's just not popular. But we talked about that shit so much, like I can't remember which one was the first one that kicked it off. But it's like, that was something that I was truly interested in, like knowledge seeking and talking and exchanging that shit, because most of that shit makes sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you stumble across some shit. If you skeptical about something already, and you thinking like, man, it's got to be something realer than this, something better than this, something more that makes sense to me. And that's what spirituality was. So I was always into it, always. And man, we done had so many fucking conversations, bro. I don't know which You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know which one. And I'm sure spirituality is gonna unfold in this episode here. You know what I'm saying?
Um, One thing that I remember, bro, is you were telling me that there's like some number that you kept seeing all day, bro, and you told me that like it was on a receipt and it was like on some other shit, and like you just kept seeing it, bro. And at this point, like this is kind of like you telling me that the universe is like sending you signs and shit like that, bro.
Right.
At this point in my life, I'm thinking that you're crazy or whatever, bro. But I don't say nothing. I just listen to what you gotta say, and one day, bro, the number 28, I keep seeing it everywhere, bro, and fucking that's when I started being more open minded, and starting thinking about the universe and my higher self and shit like that, bro.
Yeah. They gonna throw you signs, angel numbers, repeating numbers. You know what I'm saying? If you keep the universal language is mathematics, so if you keep seeing a certain number, look it up, see what it means. You know what I'm saying? The shit just may resonate with you. Mine was 9:21. I always think that shit. I see it on the clock at least twice a day. God damn it, from when it's spinning, or if I don't catch it on the clock, I'm gonna see it on a billboard. It's the last three numbers on the billboard or whatever. Sometimes I see it backwards, 129, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was seeing it all the time, and I looked it up, and I seen what it meant, like what it was saying, and each number has an attribute, and then it's like, I'm not gonna go into depth with my number, but each number had the 9 meant something, the 2 meant something, the 1 meant something. But if you add them all up, you know what I'm saying? 9 plus 2, you know what I'm saying? Plus the 1, blah, blah, blah. You add that up, and then whatever that is, you add that up to what that is, you know what I'm saying? So now you got a life path number, like just get into the signs, you know what I'm saying? Just read them, don't overlook them. If you constantly seeing something, figure out what the significance is, figure out what it is, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, repeating numbers, angel numbers, figure out what they mean. That's like one of the first ways the universe is gonna talk to you, through a number. If you don't pay attention to the signs are gonna keep getting louder and louder and louder. Eventually you're gonna wake up and realize, like, okay. Feel me?
Do you have like any significant moment to share of like maybe something when you were younger, bro, that like made you start questioning things? Or like, would you like to share about how your upbringing was and like spirituality and religion and stuff?
Spirituality was not in my upbringing. Religion was. It's a big fucking difference.
Yeah.
And religion has this way of taking spirituality and certain symbols and fucking them up and changing the meaning of them and all of this and that. But I grew up Christian, Black American. It's part of our. Damn, I ain't trying to go too crazy on this shit, but
You can, bro.
it's part of, Christianity comes from slavery. You know what I'm saying? So most of us grew up believing that shit and Jesus Christ and all of that. But I had a lot of questions. Like, the Bible. Now I realize you're not supposed to take it literal. You know what I'm saying? But back then, certain shit in the Bible just didn't make sense to me, or just the way they was trying to, raise us, some of that shit just didn't make sense to me, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the description of hell. You know what I'm saying? And it just didn't make sense how the Most High could be so loving and merciful, but He'd cast your ass in fire and brimstone for eternity, and that shit just didn't. I realized Christianity was something that's just meant to create fear. You know what I'm saying? If you got fear, fear will block your root chakra and everything starts there. But anyway, Christianity just didn't sit well with me. Like, I had questions. I was asking questions my mama, my daddy, my grandmama, and none of them could answer that shit. You know what I'm saying? It even got to the point where they was just like, be quiet. Like, they ain't even want to. They was too caught up in it, and I wasn't fucking with that, because I wasn't finna pass that shit to my kids. You know what I'm saying? So Um, it's pretty much it started there, questioning my beliefs that was they was trying to program me with. Just didn't, you know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. I wasn't just going to accept that shit and just be like, okay, this is reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to like dive into everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like Christianity ain't it. So let me see what I can get from the Quran. All right, now Islam ain't it. Let me see what I could get from I even picked the dark side. What can I get from Luciferianism? No, this ain't it either. You know. Then I realized, why am I looking for a fucking religion? You know, why am I looking for a group to side with? You know, spirituality ain't a religion; it's a way of life, and that shit makes sense to me. That's spirituality is comforting enough for me to where now I'm asking questions because I want to learn more. You know what I'm saying? At first I was asking questions because the shit just didn't make sense. As far as religion didn't make sense. Spirituality does, and it's got like this warming. I don't even know how to. It's just got this. You know, you read certain shit, and you can feel it like right here. You know what I'm saying? Like this it. Like this is it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it started. I got into this shit because I had questions. Just asking questions, and nobody could answer them. So I had to find that shit myself, bro.
How old were you when you started when you started looking into the different religions?
I was asking questions at a very, very, very young age, bro. Like a child, you know, I got like 5 kids and shit. So
Yeah.
I was asking questions like already. Like, see, right now they not asking questions, and it's because that's not what I gave them. You know what I'm saying? They not worried about. They don't have questions about like. You know, like the questions I was asking, like, you know, just that shit just didn't make sense to me. You
Like,
know?
we have an example.
All of it, bro. Like, fuck. The whole shit, like, you know, like, first of all, like, why? You could take this shit back to the Garden of Eden, like, just all of that shit. Like, how are these fucking animals talking? Animals don't talk today. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, how did 2 people turn into, how many motherfuckers walked the earth? About 7 billion? How many? Billions.
I have no idea.
How 2 people turn into billions and just, you know, just finding out about, you know, like Eve wasn't the first woman, you know, it was Lilith. And just all kinds of shit. How come God don't deal with us how he dealt with the people in the Bible? Like, why is there such a disconnect today? And just all kinds of shit, man. I had questions like, I can't even, I'm trying to think of a specific one now. Just, shit just don't sit well. Like, why, how is there a burning bush talking? How are these fucking, why would an all-loving God flood the earth, killing everybody, but he gonna spare the animals? You know what I'm saying? Like, just all kinds of questions that just nobody, they was trying to, instead of giving me an answer, they was just trying to block the shit. So it was just pretty much I questioned everything about this goddamn religion, you know what I'm saying? And nobody could answer it. And it just, the rabbit hole just started there. Young age. It was a young age. Just all kinds of shit. I didn't like the fact that you know, as I got older, I realized I was a Negro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't know that shit. I didn't know what the fuck. I ain't know nothing about that shit. I didn't know the certain classes and status levels and you know, you as you get older, you're gonna become more conscious to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know I was poor. You know, I didn't know. As I got older, you know, I realized that racism was a thing, and like, you know, being black, Christianity's giving us this. Okay, here's a question, a good question too. Why the description of Jesus don't match the one we see in the pictures? And yeah, that was definitely a question I had early on, because you know there's a passage in the Bible where they are explaining his pigment, and they are all shades of color, brown, melanated shades. You know what I'm saying? This man's supposed to be born in the Middle East. Why does he got blonde hair and blue eyes and like a European? You know what I'm saying? Europe and the Middle East are in two different continents. You know. They say his skin was the color of bronze and copper, and hair like wool, and you know what I'm saying? Like, now the passage is twisted. It says something like hair white like wool, but you know, they gonna always keep editing in that damn they gonna always keep editing that fucking book, y'all. Damn, bro, like Christians ain't gonna like this. You know what I'm saying? But that book is gonna always keep getting rewritten to fit whatever, you know. But it said his hair was like wool, nigga. That's like kind of like, you know, like mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, your shit ain't too far off. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got, you know, blacks and Mexicans are actually closer than we think. Like, blood and history wise, like, we are the real Americans. This our shit. You know, that's a whole nother. We can have a whole nother topic on that one. But I just didn't like that. I didn't like the face of Jesus Christ because I was a Negro. And then, you know, you telling me he looked like this in the book, but then the picture of him just looked like the police. Motherfucking, you know, like, you know, police was the first white people I was born in Chicago. Ain't too many. Wasn't, I mean, I don't know about now. I ain't been there in so long. But I don't. Well, when I do go, I don't see too many white folks, and if I do, they shouldn't be there. They out of place. They there for the wrong reasons. They don't stay there. You know, they have no real reason to be there except for whatever they coming to get real quick and they leave. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't see white folk until I got a little bit older. I left and went to the north side. Now I'm exposed to Hispanics and more white folks up there. You know what I'm saying? I was born in Austin. It's the west side. And that's a black community. You know what I'm saying? So most of the white folks was either old people who lived on the block who never moved away because of the white flight. Because, you know, Chi-Town used to be white. You know, the same blocks that's the hood used to be all white. You know what I'm saying? And there was a bunch of old couples, but like, there was no like white kids running around playing and shit. You know, I see the police that was white. But anyway, as I got older, I realized I was a Negro and there's this supremacy thing going on, and I just didn't like Christianity no more. I had outgrew it. I don't know. No. It's cap. It's cap. That's where it started. Asking questions.